ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Really, truly, this is going to drive the next map of what should be studied.
A potential groundbreaking discovery in the search for Alzheimer's prevention. 2 separate studies show flu and pneumonia shots may reduce your risk of developing the disease in the future. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. The studies were presented today during the Alzheimer's Association International Conference, which was held virtually for the first time because of COVID-19. ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo tells us this possible link will lead to more research.
The conference was supposed to be in Amsterdam with roughly 8,000 to 9,000 people in attendance. After going virtual, roughly 25,000 registered. 2 new studies are giving researchers new clues in the fight against Alzheimer's disease.
This is really just the first step in finding out more, that there's obviously something to it.
Flu and pneumonia vaccines might be the key, according to 2 separate studies presented at the Alzheimer's Association International Conference. In one study, researchers found that getting a flu shot showed a 17% reduction in the development of the disease. The earlier people got the vaccine, the better protection.
Each year successively, if they did get another flu shot, they got more reductions. So almost up to about 30 to 35% of a reduction of the development of dementia just by getting a flu shot.
In a separate study, similar reductions for developing dementia for those that received a pneumonia vaccine between the ages of 65 and 75.
You had a reduction of almost 40% of not developing dementia.
The question is it just the shots or a combination of things, including lifestyle and genetics?
It may be as simple as people that get flu vaccines are probably people that take care of their health anyway.
Both studies just the starting point to find out why the vaccines appear to be correlated with delaying disease development. More research is needed to find out if just getting the vaccines alone can have an impact.
Really, truly, this is going to drive the next map of what should be studied.
Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
The international conference continues tomorrow, and researchers are expected to discuss blood biomarkers that could identify a person with the potential for developing Alzheimer's up to 20 years before any symptoms appear.
People who live in Encinitas are worried a massive church gathering on the beach yesterday will turn into a super spreader event. The crowd sang, prayed, and cheered at Cardiff State Beach, with most people not wearing masks. The event was organized by worship leader Sean Foy. Alicia Goodman attended with her teenage sons and 3 other teenagers she ministers.
I think everybody was being fair with each other and social distancing and staying within their immediate family and friends group. But there was some hugging.
I don't think I've ever seen that many people in that location. And I would compare it to like surf events, major events. So it was just shocking.
The county says that outdoor religious events are allowed if masks are worn and social distancing is followed. We contacted the State Parks Department, which said that the event did not have a permit and citations were issued for illegal parking. And here are the latest numbers. The county reported another 523 cases today. That brings our total to over 27,000. There are no new reported deaths, which is common after the weekend, so that number remains at 533.
We've been looking forward to have some type of stability where we're not, stuck in our car for hours, waiting to see when we're going to have the next place to stay at.
Providing shelter during the pandemic, this former Super 8 motel in the South Bay is now housing homeless families. ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura spoke with a family who recently moved in about how it's changed their lives.
The city gave us this video of the remodeled Super 8 motel in the South Bay. It's now being used to house families without a home during the pandemic.
It's kind of set up like a big hotel room. It's really nice. We really like it. My kids are really happy to be here because they all have their own beds.
Erixa Martinez moved into the facility with her husband and 3 kids. They've been homeless since December, staying with relatives, other times in motels.
Yeah.
Erixa says she and her husband have even lived in their cars after leaving their kids with a relative. The pandemic creating added concern.
being at family members' houses or being just out in the public or anywhere that I had to, be in an open space around people that probably could have been exposed to the COVID it is scary.
The convention center has turned into a temporary shelter for homeless individuals during the pandemic, housing people from San Diego's bridge shelters. But city officials say it's not a suitable environment for families. In 2017, the city made plans to turn the Super 8 Motel in the Edgar Highlands community to transitional housing to help repeat drug and alcohol offenders break the cycle. But as construction was finishing in May, city officials say they realized the need was greater to house families without a home during the pandemic. Families began moving into the 42-unit facility last week.
Having this facility allows families and children a place to come in, be safe, be sanitary, and then they're also getting connected to services so that they can get on to a better life.
Services that Erixa is using, hoping to eventually find permanent housing for her and her family.
I'm hoping soon.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
A San Diego cycling and yoga studio is moving all of its classes online permanently. Dana Pari, the founder of Cycle Home, decided not to move her businesses onto the sidewalk. Instead, she and her teachers will now deliver all their classes live and on demand on Zoom.
I think you have to adapt, and I didn't want to be waiting for when we can go back to what we used to do. We're moving forward. We're flexible. We're yogis.
The local gyms are transitioning to outdoor workouts, and we have more stories on how San Diego businesses are adapting on 10news.com and our special rebound section.
The popular KAABOO Music Festival is the latest major event to be canceled because of coronavirus. Today, organizers of KAABOO announced they're postponing the festival until September of 2021. In a statement, they said it's the safest option for everyone. People with tickets told ABC 10 News they had been in limbo for months, waiting for an announcement.
And they just keep saying, we haven't made a decision. That makes me more concerned about getting a refund.
All current pass holders will receive an email in the next few days outlining a couple of options. They can either hold on to the passes for 2021 or ask for a full refund. Coronavirus outbreaks continue to pop up nationwide. Johns Hopkins University is now reporting nearly 4.3 million cases in the U.S. alone. At least 100 infections in New Jersey have been traced back to 2 gatherings.
Young people still can transmit COVID-19 to those that they love. We need them to take this public health threat seriously.
In Washington, D.C., one of the president's top advisors tested positive, but the White House says there's no risk of exposure to the president, even though that advisor was last seen at the White House on Thursday. Meantime, Notre Dame withdrew from hosting the first presidential debate. The school saying, quote, the necessary health precautions would have greatly diminished the educational value.
UC San Diego is denouncing an Instagram account that posted racist, hateful content and claims to be affiliated with the university. UCSD officials found out about the social media account just last night. The school took to Twitter today, saying it condemns all forms of racism and hate. Over the weekend, we reported the University of San Diego is also investigating Instagram accounts that posted white supremacy propaganda claiming ties to the school. And a small plane is finally gone from the side of the Interstate 5 in the North County tonight after landing in the middle of the freeway. The plane was flying from Santa Ana to San Diego this afternoon when it started having trouble around the San Onofre area. Our 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala shows us how the pilot managed to make a smooth and injury-free landing.
CHP officers say it took a little bit of luck and a whole lot of experience to safely land this plane in the middle of the I-5.
I have to compliment him for doing a pretty good job. He pulled it off without injuring anybody else. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of delays today, so we feel bad about that, and we apologize for that.
Traffic backed up for hours Monday as many drivers had to do a double take when they saw this. Just before 1 p.m., a San Diego pilot had to make an emergency landing in his small plane on the I-5 just south of Basilone Road. CHP officers say the pilot, who has 18 years of experience, was traveling from John Wayne Airport to Montgomery Field when he started experiencing some mechanical issues while up in the air. They say he immediately went into action, looking down below for the perfect spot to land. Once he saw a break in the freeway traffic, he made his move.
He landed on the freeway lanes, and then he veered to the right as best he could. He stopped the plane, got out, and pushed it further onto the shoulder.
The pilot was able to safely land the plane. No drivers were injured down on the freeway, and there was no damage to the plane as it landed smoothly. Now the next step is the removal process, which comes with some challenges.
It's going to be a long, lengthy process trying to figure out our best plan of action for removal, whether it's disassemble or whether it's towed down the road.
Reporting along the I-5, Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
And the Highway Patrol says the plane will be taken to the Oceanside Airport to be repaired.
The body of civil rights legend Congressman John Lewis is now lying in the state national capitol. Today, his body was taken on a tour through Washington's iconic landmarks, including the Martin Luther King Memorial and the National Museum of African American History. Lewis will be taken outside the Capitol tomorrow, where people can pay their respects to the man known as the conscience of Congress.
We pray and trust that this peacemaker himself now rests in peace.
Lewis represented Georgia for more than 30 years. In his home state of Alabama, red rose petals were scattered on the Edmund Pettus Bridge where he marched on Bloody Sunday. And this weekend, his body was taken across that bridge one final time.